All right, everyone. Welcome to this demonstration of simple sales in Microsoft Dynamics 365. So this is a part of my blog series called Simple Sales, really, or how to demonstrate sales. And my point here is to prove that a big system, an enterprise system like Microsoft, can be simple. And the reason I like to do this is because some customers aren't really looking for enterprise scale or enterprise functionality solutions in the beginning. They needed time to mature. And my argument is always why you pick our system is because, well, we can also do simple. But instead of growing out of our system, you can grow into our system. So without further ado, I mean, this is always the interesting part. Where do you start by showing a system? Well, okay. In this case, we start with a dashboard. So, I mean, this is what you would expect from every other CRM system. So you have your pipeline and you have a forecasting based on a time and trend example. And you might even have some more information, maybe some lists. So what we're going to see today is that at this point we have a high volume here in our qualifying stage. And later on we will see that this stage here at 103,000 will evolve into something bigger. But let's talk about the navigation first. So Microsoft Dynamics 365 has a very simple navigation here on the left side. So if you look here, we can see the accounts. So the accounts are the ones we are working with, typically like customers. They could be vendors, they could be partners. So by clicking on this, I see a list of, in this case, my active accounts. I can also click here on this arrow and I would see other views. Could be all active accounts. But in this case, I'm just going to focus on my active accounts. And throughout this demo, I'm going to be using the Alpine Ski House as our account and looking what we can do with that. So if I start by opening the Alpine Ski House, what you see here is the account picture. And on the left side, we have information regarding the account. Typically like account name, if it's a part of a hierarchy, a parent company. And here what I was saying about, is it a customer, is it a vendor, supplier, etc. And the address information. Very simple information. So in the middle, what we have is something called a timeline. So a timeline, and why that is pretty cool, is it shows us what has happened with this customer throughout time, given timeline. But we can see here is that we've had a few phone calls and a task in this case. And on the right side, we see contacts that are regarding the Alpine Ski House, but we can also see opportunities or even cases if you're using this as a ticket system. But all of this is very simple navigation here within one page. So if I want to see more information about a contact, in this case maybe this Kathleen person, I can just simply click here and I see a brief part of information from his contact card. And equally I can do the same thing with the opportunities. So I open an opportunity here. I just want to see a glimpse here, the video hardware upgrade. All right, so I get information here. We're in the qualifying stages and it's 7.2 million. It's nice to know. And so further navigation, we have elements on top here that are tabs. So typically this would be details here. It could be added information about the account. Or related would be related information in regards to the account. But we're just going to focus here on the simple navigation, and things that you can also do here is in regards of reporting in Power BI, and I will get back to that later on. You could show simple graphs that are filtered to this account. Okay, saying just what kind of opportunities do we have divided in by phase on this account. So what you can see here, I'm not navigating away from the account, and I can still gain so much information. So everything that we're looking at here is all within my reach from the accounts. And so equally, if I go down to the contacts here, in this case, I might want to see more information about the same person, the Cathin. So what we see here on the left side, again, information about Cathin. But we also see him here connected to Alpine Ski House. So at the current moment, Cathin doesn't have any tasks connected to him. So he doesn't have any timeline focus here. But if we look into the opportunities here, we see he is connected to 3 different opportunities. And one of them here, the video hardware upgrade, which we'll get closer to later. And we also have his cases that he might be connected to. So he's not connected to any cases. Again, very simple navigation and so much information in one place. And here again, we can get the details, especially typically here for a contact person, maybe seeing whether or not they are connected to a marketing list. All right. So next step is opening the opportunities. So the opportunity that I'm going to focus on is this video hardware upgrade. And as you can see here, this navigation is the same wherever you are. It starts off with the top ribbon here saying, okay, these are the list of my opportunities. And in here, I see a list that is defined by me. So of course we can redefine the columns here, but this is what is just standard. So I open this video hardware upgrade. So what I see here at a glimpse on the timeline is that we've already had our first follow-up. It's a callback. And that's fine, but I see here that we might need to do some more stuff. So I'm going to add a new task here. And I'm going to define this task as I'm just going to set this as a due date for next Monday, 8 a.m. All right. So what you're going to see now here on our opportunity is that we have one task that has been completed and one task that is due. And what it also is showing me here is that the opportunity, since the last time I was in here, I haven't seen this activity. So if I want to go here and filter things I haven't seen since the last time I was in, I can click that and say, okay, this is the task that was just added. Fine. But what you also notice with the opportunity, with the fact that on the left side here, you see the related information connected to the Alpine Ski House and the contact Catherine Cook. You'll also see this business process flow on top here. So business process flow is a guidance for salespeople to say that, okay, in the qualifying stage, we either guide you to say that we want this information, or we might even try to force you to enter this information in order to go to the next step. And so in this step, it could have been here. Let's see, identifying contact, identifying accounts. And we also something without the budget. And all this makes me able then to, because this is complete, I can move my opportunity to the next stage. And so for the purpose of this demo, I'm just going to move it on to the closing stage, because eventually I want to show you guys that again, our pipeline is going to be updated based on these stages. So this is a very simple opportunity. We're basically just recording some information, the topic, the account, contact, and an estimated revenue and closing date. And of course here the probability. So this is the intention here is just for simple sales, but maybe you have what we will call just a little bit more advanced. You have some special needs here that you actually need to focus on product sales. Well, that's where we can enter here the quotes. So by opening this quote here, I see that I have a draft in, so I'll just make a new one. On a quote image here, we can easily do typical things you can with a quote, activating it and having revisions going, etc. But I'm just going to add the new product here now. And we are going to be adding a carbon fiber 3D printer 20-inch. And I'm going to say that I want 5 of this. So save and close. So what I've done now is I've basically started a quote. We get some information here about amounts. And at some point, I might even say, okay, this is good. I want to send this to my customer. And this is where we have our Word templates. So here I can do a print a quote for customer. So this is just an example of how you can do it. And it's pretty much what you would expect. It's a simple Word document with a few fields about dear customer, etc. And these are the quotation lines that you've been asking for, etc. So what we're just going to do now is just go back to the opportunity and just learning a bit about the navigation here in CRM. What we have here, whenever we see something blue, that means we have a navigational link. So I can click back to the opportunity by just clicking here directly. Or I could say that I might want to open the Alpine Ski House and go back to where we came from. And this is where we're going to notice something. If you remember, I added a task here for the opportunity, something I had to remember to do. But I added it on the opportunity. But look here, if when I now navigate back to the Alpine Ski House, I will get an information saying, since the last time you opened Alpine Ski House, there's something happened. You missed something. There's a new activity. Okay? Interesting. So here is that exact activity. And this activity has been put onto the opportunity, but is also showing all the way up. So it's a great way to get a good glimpse or an overview of your account, really simply. Okay, so back to our dashboard. As we can see here now, what before was 100,000 is now 7.3 million, which is good. So that means, this is just to show you that these dashboards are live directly from CRM information. And then you can say, well, these aren't really sexy, are they? No, they're not. But this is what is out of the box. But then again, here is where the power of our platform comes to play, because by just adding Power BI to the mix, we can do so much more. So as an example here, I have the Power BI report open. And this could also be embedded into Dynamics. But in this case, I'm just showing the Power BI report as a template here. And what the power here in the power, or the power of the Power BI report, yeah, it's an interesting phrasing, of course, but what we see here is that I can drill down to so much information and everything is globally filtered. So if I say I want financial information, our opportunities in regards to financial, it's going to zoom in to that part of the country where this is valid. See, it zoomed quite a bit in here. So it's anyway, it's in the US. But we could also see other parts here. All right, so down this southern part of Africa. And whenever I click around here, the other filters, of course, will then correspond to whatever I'm clicking on. So the Power BI is just really amazing. And of course, this is just a template out of the box, but it should give you some examples of what we could do with data. And here we don't need to just focus on CRM data. We can focus on any data. We can bring your CRM data, or ERP data, or any data you have. Just give us the connection and we'll combine it for you. So by navigating back to CRM, we basically covered bits and parts of dashboards. I'm just proving here, of course, we can just embed also into CRM Power BI dashboards here. So we looked at the opportunity management and accounts. So the next thing I want to do here is talk about the power we have within the platform with Outlook. So by opening this Outlook here, so this is Outlook Web Access. And the fact that I'm showing you web access and I'm going to be showing you a full CRM integration just proves what we have of options here, because the client that I will be showing you here works on the full scale Outlook, it works on Outlook Web Access, and it works on your phone. So in this case, I can see here Thomas saying something, he needs something. So I'm going to open this email, and in the beginning it looks like a regular email, but what you're going to see here is this icon right here. This is the Dynamics client. And so the first thing I see when I open the Dynamics client here is that my email address is not recognized in CRM. So it's tagging me as an unknown recipient. And so to put me into CRM, all I need to do is add this person as a contact. And then it picks up my information, my first name, my last name, my email address. So I'm just going to provide it even with a phone number. And I'm just doing the business phone now just because it is going to be shown in a preview. And here, I also connected to the accounts. But in this case, I'm going to connect it to the Alpine Ski House. So what you see here is that it shows me my recently opened items. And Alpine Ski House is one of them. So I'm going to choose this. When I do now save and close, I have now created Thomas as a contact with phone numbers and email. So Thomas is now in the CRM as a contact, but he's also connected to the Alpine Ski House. And what happened to this email, now that it's tracked in CRM, is that I can see here, oops, sorry, if you see the blue little dot there, that's a category saying that this email has been tracked into the CRM system. But right now this email is regarding the contact Thomas, and I'm going to say I want to change this because I want this to be regarding the opportunity that we've been looking into. So I'm going to change the regarding here, and I'm going to go for the video hardware upgrade. As you can see here, there's a star here, and I'll show you why in a little bit. So now it changed to being connected to just Thomas, and then now it's connected to the here, and this is the power of the tracking. So now we've connected it to opportunity. So when I go into the opportunity now, I will see this email. I get a glimpse here of the opportunity, and because of my email address, it knows that, okay, we know that this is Thomas. But in addition to that, we also know that Thomas is connected to this account. So by tracking this email, we are now capable of seeing this activity in 3 different places, but it's only stored one time. So if I go back to CRM now, and this is what I was going to show you. Within our recent items, I can take Alpine Ski House here, and I want to add this as a pinned item. And what it does is, in our pinned items here, these are typical things that you might work with a lot. If you have a big opportunity going, and you're going to access it a lot, this might be the quickest way to access your information. So I'm going to start off with this opportunity. And we're going to see here again, activities that I missed. All right, there's an email here. So this is the email regarding Thomas sent, but I put this in on the opportunity. And so I also, if I go back then and look into the Alpine Ski House, I will also see this email. So this is the power where we can see so much information being put one place, but then being shown every other place I am. So depending on where you go or what your role is, because some people might not open the opportunity, they might just open the account, but still they can see stuff that has happened. All right, so the next thing I want to look into is, if you remember, I tracked the task. I entered a task to the CRM system on the opportunity. This one right here. And so what happens in the background here is that this will then sync this task to Outlook. So if I go into Outlook, and I look at my tasks, hopefully here, on Monday, what we can see here, all right, so we have remember to send offer, due Monday. So very simply here, I get my tasks also within Outlook. So you also get the reminders that Outlook has by just adding information into a CRM. And so if I do here the complete, it will also write back to CRM. So I completed the task in Outlook, but it's now complete in CRM. But before we navigate back there, I want to show you something else, and that's the calendar. So again, here we have a calendar view for Outlook. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to add a new calendar activity. Did I store that? No. All right, so new meeting with potential customer. So I'm going to open this. And as you can see, this would be a lot better, of course, in your full-scale Outlook, but this is Outlook Web Access. So, of course, you could do the regular stuff you do here with inviting people, etc. But also here, you will see the Dynamics icon. So by opening this icon, again, I will see the same client. And so it will ask me, what is this regarding? And this is also then regarding the video hardware upgrade, the opportunity that we've been working with. So I'm going to track this against the opportunity. And so this is just backing up my argument, saying this is the Dynamics platform. We don't want you to work necessarily in another system. We want you to work in Outlook that you've always been doing. But the one thing we want to do, ask you now, is just to add a little extra information. When you track something, you're just saying to the system that I want this system to be a part of the CRM. And the CRM will take care of the rest of everything tracking. But just these simple steps will just make it so much simpler for everyone else to know that things are happening on your customer side. And also here you can see that the color here changed from a light blue to a dark blue. And that means that this item has been tracked in CRM. So we can really easily here see, if I just had any other meeting here, you can watch your calendar seeing what has been tracked and what has not been tracked. All right, so now I've taken you through parts of the CRM and Outlook. So if I go back here, what we should be seeing, if I refresh the timeline, we also see the appointment. And we also see the task that I completed. And this is this is one of the many ways to display a CRM system or showcase a CRM system. And it's not the only way. This is how I have chosen to do it in the simplest possible way. I'm choosing to use 3 entities only here. And I'm also just including the dashboard. So we're basically just navigating between accounts, contacts, and opportunities. So hopefully this has just been demonstrating some of the power we have in Dynamics 365 with a simple yet advanced sales system. But my goal is never to start off with the biggest of the best. We start off with something that is something that the users actually might be able to use. And then once they get used to the system, then we can grow and then we can expand and see the possibilities. All right, so if you like this, anyway, this is a part of my blog series, and I will also be adding the solution file for this simple sales, so you can download it and try it out if you want to. Some of these things that I've been doing with BI, they do require a little extra setup, but I've also blogged about that, so you can easily just go into my blog and copy paste pretty much anything I've done. So hopefully this has been an okay demonstration, and thank you.